Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to Bhroman Braapsody. This is where we review cars and motorcycles. And today we are back at this beautiful place I call my second home. Motorcycles of Greensboro, and guess who I'm with? It's the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only, the professor, you guys!
Bro, welcome back, brother.
Thank you, sir.
How are you?
Living the dream with, I'm next to Italian supermodels, yourself included.
I know. Well, thank you. Well, okay then.
We've been doing quite a few Multistradas now, huh?
Yes.
We did the V4S, the V2S.
Yes.
And now,
yes,
it's a bike that I've unboxed before or covered the unboxing of.
Yes.
It's the 2023 Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak.
Yes.
So in today's episode, we're going to talk about the bike, see some of its features. I'll take it out on the road, share my thoughts with you guys. The professor's going to give us a history lesson. I'm excited about that. I'm going to assign it a Bhroman score. But before we do any of that, if you're new to Bhroman, give us a like and hit that subscribe button because we put out content every week and your support would mean a lot. It's me, it's your boy Bro, and I am your Bhroman.
The bike offers all the performance a sport bike would offer. 17-inch wheels, forged wheels, single-sided swing arms, 170 horsepower, but handlebars in a comfortable seating position, which means not only could you go from the Atlantic to the Pacific and back because of the ergonomics of the motorcycle, but you could, while you're doing that, you could stop at every track from coast to coast and in between and do track days, have a good time.
You can also do Pikes Peak on a Pikes Peak.
You could ride up Pikes Peak on the Pikes Peak.
On the Pikes Peak.
Yes. Our friend Carlin Dunn rode a Multistrada from his Ducati dealership in Southern California. So he rode the bike to Colorado, somewhat prepped the bike for the race while he was at the bottom of the mountain, raced it, won it, put lights back on, and rode back to Southern California. So pretty impressive motorcycle to start with.
Electronic suspension.
Ohlins electronic suspension. Oh. So you got top-notch stuff. Yeah, absolutely. All the electronics, the 4 different riding modes. Should we mention yet again the 6-axis IMU that comes with
IMU, lean sensing ABS, lean sensing traction control, the forged wheels. Are these the same wheels that we get on the Panigale?
They are the very same exact wheels that you would get on the Panigale V4S.
Oh, yes. Really?
Yeah. So, that's why I say it's my bike because it's got all the components that I would want on a motorcycle and the comfortable seating position.
I see it's got acropovich.
Yes.
Now, is it a full system or is it just a slip-on on these bikes?
It's only the slip-on. What they call a homologated system, which basically means it is a system that passes Euro 5 compliance and CARB compliance. When you're buying a Pikes Peak, you're buying the bike for the sake of the performance of the motorcycle, sport performance over the Multistrada. Not so much for the touring, but more for the sport riding. In essence, you exchange the value of the bags for the forged wheels and the suspension and other things that would be more important to you because you're more of a sport-oriented rider.
Gotcha.
But if you do carry luggage and want to, it's an easy upgrade.
Oh, the other thing that I want to touch upon is this paint scheme.
Yeah, it's the Ducati Corse paint scheme that you usually get on the special models or the special releases. Special releases,
yeah. It's got the black, you have the red, you have the white, and the professor quite literally is twinning with the bike. Look at it.
Matchy.
You mind if I do a quick walk around?
Not at all, Abru.
It's got that same angry look like a regular Multistrada V4, but it's got tons of carbon fiber, Italian chrome on the fender, Italian chrome on the beak, and right about there is that radar for your adaptive cruise. This has adaptive cruise. Golden shocks mean Ohlins front suspension. The biggest difference between the V4 Pikes Peak and the regular Multistrada V4 and the V4 Pikes Peak is that in the front. 17-inch front wheel, that's what most sports bikes do. Dual discs up front with Brembo brakes, standard for Ducatis, radiator inside. That's the heart of the beast that puts out that 170 horses, 90 odd foot-pound of torque. Now this bike has a 25.75 degree rake angle. What's the rake angle, you ask? Draw a perpendicular from the steering mount, follow the fork tube. That's your rake angle. Shorter the rake angle, the more nimble the bike is, and larger the rake angle, the more stable it is at higher speeds, highway speeds and such. Rear, you get a single-sided swing arm, because why not? It's gorgeous. Akrapovic exhaust, that's the slip-on part. It's a chain drive, electronic adjustable suspension in the rear, quick shifter down there, and it's got the forged wheels. It weighs about 540 pounds. You have a seat height of 33.1 or 33.9, depending on the high or low option you go with. You have turn signals that are mounted to the fairing, and you have like these little winglets like you have on the Panigales and the Street Fighters. How cool is that? That's such a cool design element. I love it. You get special seats on this bike, of course. The passenger seat is half red. It tells you it's a V4. It's a nice deep cut seat, if you ask me. If you look how it flows from the tank, you get a higher tank, and then you get this nice cutout in here. On the sides, you have this little grab handle of sorts, but this also has mounts for your saddlebags and a mount for the top case. On the tank, you have a little storage space. Click and open it. USB power outlet, and you can store some goodies in here. So you have keyless ignition. That's the key fob for the Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak. It says Ducati, and you also get that old school key in case the battery runs out or dies out. You need to get your stuff out. Let's talk about the handlebar controls on the left. High beams, passing lights and high beams here. To get to the high beams, you push it out. Hazards, suspension settings or your preloads, riding modes, cruise control, turn signal, horn, and this is the joystick you'd use to toggle through the menu. And the handlebar controls on your right are your heated grips on top, kill switch, starter, or your DRLs to control your DRLs. If you look at the mirrors, they're nicely shaped mirrors, and the stock is really sturdy and it's really good to the touch. To turn on the bike, you just move this key looking object here, and that should light up the screen, as long as you have the key fob on you, that is. Boom, things coming up. Multistrada V4. Alright, so you got warning lights on both sides. On the top left you have the fuel gauge, on the top right is the time. Side stand indicator, digital speedometer, cruise control, riding mode, digital tachometer, your gear indicator, and these are your levels of the traction control, quick shifter, engine braking, and ABS. Oil pressure, outside air temperature. For your riding modes, you have touring, urban, race, sport. You get a race mode, and as with all Ducatis, as you select your, as with most Ducatis rather, if you select this whichever riding mode you select, you have the option to further customize the levels of your traction control, your ABS, your wheelie control, your engine braking, all of that. Other things you have are the setting menus. You can play your music. You can connect with the Ducati app and play your music. You have adaptive cruise, phone, and back to your settings menu. If you go into the settings menu, you have your regular info, measurement units, language, turn signals, Bluetooth, tire calibration, lap timer, service interval, date and time, blind spot detection. Oh, this comes with blind spot detection as well. Your PIN code, backlight, DRL, fuel indicator, and back to your riding modes. So can you tell our viewers a little bit about this beautiful place, Motorcycles of Greensboro?
Well, we don't really sell motorcycles. What we do is we guide fellow motorcyclists to make an educated decision as to what motorcycle they've been wanting to buy and would probably suit them based on what they think they're going to do today with motorcycling. Because both you and I know that once you start motorcycling, you never know where it's going to take you. You started on cruisers, sport bikes. More sport bikes, more than no more cruiser. Well, the Indian. But then pretty soon, all I know, you called me and you said, I just bought myself a bike that I can go off-roading with. I'm going to go do the dirty thing. I'm like, see, as I said, you never know where it's going to take you.
You know,
and I mean, you never know who you're going to meet and where it's going to take you. So, and that's the reason why here at Motorcycles of Greensboro, you got Paul, who's, you know, long distance rider. I mean, he could get on a motorcycle and go for 1,000 miles nonstop. Andrew, who loves his off-roading, and, you know, and Brandon now, who, you know,
joins him and everything.
Yeah, Brandon will go off-roading and go to track days on the same day. Troy is, you know, a very good street rider, and he's got decades of experience in that. And that's the reason why we kind of chose this diversified group of, you know, motorcyclists of diversified experience to be able to relate to people who have an idea of what they, you know, what they want to do in their motorcycling.
And the people here are extremely helpful, extremely friendly, extremely knowledgeable. I'll put their website link in the video description below. Come on down, check them out.
Please make sure and tell us that the Bhroman sent you, and you will be immediate part of the family.
But do you happen to know what time it is?
I see you checking out your watch. Is it? It's right o'clock already?
It is right o'clock. Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's go. So, if you guys are new to Bhroman, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. We put out content every week, and your support would mean a lot. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this bike also has a couple of cool features. This windshield is adjustable, but manually. You can pull this up and down however you like it, and it also has a little power outlet here. Yep. Yeah, the V4. Let's go. Let's start off our ride with our first test. Let's make a couple of U-turns and see how this puppy maneuvers, shall we? U-turns are no problem at all. You don't even really have to pull in the clutch. It's just ready to go. It's just ready to roll. Which means it's time to do our second test, the pull test. Let's see how this puppy pulls. Holy cow! Holy cow! I'm in love, you guys. Wow. Wow, it can pull. It can pull. I'm speechless. I'm just speechless. So the first impressions of this motorcycle, I'm sitting upright. My legs are not bent weirdly. They're actually pretty comfy. The handlebars, man, I love these handlebars. I don't have to reach out for them. My arms are pretty loose and loosey-goosey and relaxed. Wind protection, surprisingly, it's really good. I'm just getting some wind over here and on both sides, but other than that, there's nothing much coming in, and I don't even have this at the highest setting, the windshield, that is. Stop sign, brake, front brakes only. Let's check it out. Yeah, brakes are no problem. Flat footing it on one leg, on one foot, is very easy. If I put both feet down, actually I can almost flat foot it. Not bad. I'm 5'10" with a 31-inch inseam for reference, you guys. And that V4 sound is something else. I like the sound of the twins, yes, but the sound of the V4, man, that's something awesome as well. These mirrors do a really good job of showing you what's behind you. You can move them around if you want. You see these little lights, blind spot monitoring. The balance on this motorcycle, what do you expect? It's a Ducati, it's a Multistrada, it's a V4, it's a Pikes Peak. Balance is amazing. So let me play around with my suspension settings and see what's up. Oh, it's just rider plus baggage, rider passenger with baggage. So if you guys are riding with baggage, you can have pre-selects, preloads. Who doesn't have baggage these days? We all do. Look, blind spot lit up. How cool is that? Again, it lit up. There's someone in my blind spot. Oh, sorry. That's a weak horn. It's a really, really weak horn, if you ask me. It just goes like meep. And see, we're in touring mode. 6,000 RPMs, third gear. I'm doing 59, dang. This is a bike that does not like going slow. I mean, none of the Ducatis do. Let's try to change some moods. We have a bunch of modes, so let's go play with it. Let's go into urban. Close throttle. Alright, we're in urban mode. So urban mode is like we're riding around in cities, in traffic areas. We don't need all that power, all that craziness. And yeah, for the most part, the power does not come in. I mean, it's not kicking me in my butt. The beautiful thing about all these Ducatis that I ride is that, like, you know, with these different modes, it's not that you don't get the power. Some have different levels of power, yes, but once you get, if you push them to the higher rev ranges, you will feel a lot of kick, the power, the horsepower and the torque, all of that come in. Let's talk about the seat. It's not the most plush seat that you could find, but I think that kind of goes along with the theme of this motorcycle, which is, you know, with the 17-inch front wheel and everything. It's like, you know, that sports bike riding experience. You know, they just want you to be more in tune with the bike. I'm sure you can get comfier seats, or maybe just, it could just be that this particular seat has not been broken in. I just have what, 10-15 miles on this bike. Let's see, what else can we select? We'll save race for last. Okay, let's do sport mode. And this is what I'm talking about, sport mode. Let's pass this car. Holy crap! That's a rolling test for you guys right there. Woo. It's crazy. It's crazy. This bike is not here to play, you guys. This is here to dominate and win. Check this out. Doing about 70. There's a little corner coming up. Let's go. Wow. Nothing. I felt nothing. So easy on this bike. Oh my god. Alright, let's put it in. Let's see if we can put it in. Yeah, race mode, close throttle. Alright, so race mode is what I did my pull test in earlier, and it was freaking phenomenal. Freaking phenomenal. Holy cow! Holy cow! You're riding a Ducati, bro, man. You're riding a Ducati. What do you expect? So track mode is the funnest mode, then sport, touring, and of course urban's the last. So I'd probably keep it in sport mode, because that's sport mode. I mean, it's just fun, and you still have traction control and stuff. So is this a good bike for commuting, bro, man? Yes, this would be great for commuting. It's got power, it's comfortable. If you get the saddlebags, the hard saddlebags or whatever, you'd have plenty of space to carry your stuff around, or you could get a backpack, tack bag, whatever. But commuting on this should not be a problem. You'll show up to work like with a stupid and probably idiotic grin on your face, like I know I would. How about touring? Is it a good bike for touring? Yeah, I mean, it's comfortable, man. The seat issue aside, if I get a comfier seat, I definitely, most definitely get a comfier seat. You can tour on it, no problem. The suspension is just amazing, and the handling with this new front wheel is just as good. And you could be doing whatever. I'm not even looking at my speedometer. Oh, I was doing in the 70s around those. So it's just so good. This suspension is so amazing. The chassis and the suspension is amazing on this bike. Now, would this be a good bike for beginners? To paraphrase the professor, it's not just a no, it's a hell no. 170 horses. Nope. It would be so easy to get into trouble, and I think insurance would be high too. What about the cost of ownership, bro, man? What about the cost of ownership? So, in conclusion, it handles so well. The power is amazing. Race mode is freaking awesome. It's just mind-boggling that they put race mode on a bike that you're probably gonna use more for touring. But that's how amazing this motorcycle is, that the people at the engineers and designers of Ducati have come up with. This is simply, I'm lost for words. It's like phenomenal. One of the most, if not the most complete bikes that I've ever ridden or reviewed on this channel. You'll have blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise, and all that performance. Oh my god. Now this is not a bike for beginners, but you can commute on it, you can tour on it, but mostly you can have a lot of spirited riding fun. Is this the bike for you? Well, head on down to your closest Ducati dealer and take one for a spin. Thanks for watching, you guys. Keep your knees in the breeze, and I'll see you soon. Bro out.